Hey, people. I'm the world's leading authority on ancient biblical Greek and Hebrew. And when I tell people what I do, the most common question is, what color was Jesus? So I found the writings here in the Bible, and it's going to tell us what color Jesus was. So if Donald Trump's watching this, hey, Don, this one's for you. So it's in the first line of Galatians 3, called faith and belief, which both of these are the same word. It means fist. That's why your preacher shakes his fist when he tells you got to have faith, because faith comes from the fistos. And so this line has been giving the Pope problems for a long time. So you can see this little arrow here and here. This means that they added all this in later Bibles. The truth not to obey. That means that they was trying to totally flip what this is saying. If you leave the truth not to obey out of there, it says, "Oh, foolish Galatians, who you has bewitched, whose before eyes Jesus Christ was publicly portrayed as Ishtar-amenus." Ishtar-amenus. Jesus was publicly displayed as Ishtar, the menace, the problem child, Dennis the menace. The god of the heavens is where your word astronomy comes from. A start, the place to start. A-S-T-A-R-T, a start. And astrony. But you say, hey, Ishtar, that's feminine. Yeah, so Jesus was first a woman. Goes by the name Inanna or Lilith, same one, the first wife of Adam. If you just think about the story, there's 12 guys following Jesus around. If you think Jesus is a dude, what you got there is a baker's dozen of queers. Jesus was always a feminine god before that. But in order to force the meaning over the words, at some time they had to change the woman to immoral. Oh, she is immoral. And so that's the name for woman here, the ass, from the woman. M, from ass. The woman is immoral. The same word for woman or immoral. And what's immoral about that? Oh, let's see. Oh, let's see, lick 'em ass. Lick 'em ass is her. When the man says, oh, ma'am, may I lick from asses? If she lets him a letsy lick to deliver you from asses, then she is immoral for letting him lick. The seductress. So that's why they had to change Isis into a man. And so this word, this is ancient word here, and it's is, and ta, the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and ro, the beginning. And so this is like in the Greek when it says alpha omega. Well, this is omega alpha, the toe, the last, and the beginning. And so this is where your word Torah comes from. When the book of Job was written, when the Vedas were written, the Toro, the bull, was Easter. Come Easter, when the sun crossed over the equator, when it made its crossing, it's crucified, is the ta, the end, and the beginning. And so it was the seven sisters, a group of stars sitting up above the bull's horns up there. This is what we call the Pleiades, and all the planets will pass by there, and this the end as they're coming by, it's the ta, the end, and then the beginning, and start a new one. And so this is where all the measurements was made from. And in India, in the Vedas, they call it the Kratic, and that's where your word Kratic, democratic, it's to create the law. They say it means to cut, but it's the point, the cutoff point, the governing point. And that was the end and beginning, the last, the finish line and the begin line, go around again. The Torah, the Easter. And a menace, Dennis the menace, a problem, a menace, coming from omen, what not, and os, spoken, what is not spoken, a menace. Or forbidden fruit, the omen, forbidden fruit of the mouth, not spoken. And so to be publicly displayed is a proograph. You know, you have a photograph. If you go get your photograph retouched, it's done been proograph, you know, the one that you publicly portray. And so ye so was Christ whose proograph is Torominus. You know, ye so, this like you peoples, you know, and ye so was, whoever ye people, you know. It's got markings, it reads different ways, but, you know, just ye's ofs, you know, is the base word for sons, you know, your ofs, your children, whatever comes of you, the ofs. And ye's ofs cries twos. You ones cries twos a proograph. You know, the portrait that you're crying to of Ishtar, menace, the unspoken. And I find where it starts a line down here with this and gives a real good idea what Christ means. And so, I know it, a gal a date is. I know it, that's a chick from Jersey. Foolishly young girl, I know it. Yeah, I know it, they don't listen. I know it, a gal and a date, you know, a date, you know, a T-A-I-T or a D-A-I-T, the date is. And so a date with a D, you know, that's a girl you go out with, but a date is a prostitute, one that you pay and take and tell her what, you know. And I know what the gal a dateism. A dateism have ask of in. You know, have asked me, and is O-I reading as a yes, and ask me is a cat of thalamus, and ask me is a cat of thalamus, and Jesus is yes of. Yes of, that's, you know, what the woman cries, she hollers yes, she'll say yes or God, oh Dios, oh God. And so is the cat of a thalamus. The thalamus is the bedroom chamber. The cat of the bedroom chamber. The thalamus, the bedroom, an inner chamber room, a bed. And so whose before eyes is cat of the bedroom chamber? Yes ofs. The yes ofs cries too. The little prostitute. I know it, the gal a date is. A dateism as have ask of in. Is cat of the bedroom chamber, of thalamus. Yeses, yes ofs cries twos. A proograph, Ishtar a menace. The cries to the retouched picture of the Ishtar that we don't speak of. You know, Adam's ex-wife, we don't speak her name in this house. A menace, an Ishtar, not spoken. And so that's why you never heard this before, because it's not spoken. We don't speak her name. But you know that's who it's talking about in Galatians 1, when Paul's greeting to the gal he's dating. And Paul, you know, Apollo is the hot day sun. You know, when he was not from man nor through man, you know, and Paul was opposed all as, and of a cap and rope on. And so Paul is opposed all of his cap and rope on. He stand up on stage at graduation. Everybody is opposed of him, looking back at him, and they all have of a cap and rope on. And outed he on drop of all ado ye's of Christ too. And so, you know, when you're accepting your Emmy award, you know, and you give your all ado, and I owe it all to, you know, through. And the IA, you know, just reading as a U. And all ado ye's of, and ye so which, you know, WCH, and ye so which rise to, and with how Patros, Cleopatros and a Theopatros. And everybody all do to ye's of which rise to, and Theopatros and the Godfather. Two we gear on to saw to vec from out of, to vec. The N reading is a V before the E of vec. You can see the Egyptian writing in there. The vecker on, to get out your vecker. And so he's given thanks all ado, ye's of which rise to, with how the Father as to having raised him out of the dead. And so that's Lucifer. That's Venus that raises the sun up. And so the gear onto, that's your dick. Your spear is your gear, your fishing gear. And the gear onto sought to vicar on from out of the dead. And the sun emoji font, a saddle fee. And the sun emoji font, a saddle fee. The saddle on top of the sun emoji, that represents Venus. And the sun emoji font is saddle fee. Means it is time, the fee, the work day cycle, SEKIL. The cycle is yes. The one setting the clock to the work day cycles is. This a gal it was. The I before the A, making this a US this time. You see they changed this word up. The gallet was. And the gallet was shares the share. The share is a min. And so a share is a min it's a lot. The share is the lots of earth. It's all, tic-tac-toed out. And the same as the heavens. And the shares in is what planet, where that planet the shares in. And so the talk is always about sex between the planets and the stars. So you can't have a male god and male disciples. One or the other's got to be female. And everybody knows that you have to have a virgin. The N before the E becomes a V. And this is the virgin to name is, the powers, the virgin powers. And so virgin powers, virgin to name was this secret power they had right here. And it was called the Kados. The Kados ever am the fistus in tote. T-O-T-E. Whoever's got their hand around the nuts is God. Who's believe in God. You better believe in God. The fistus in tote. The tote O-V. The tote of. And avocados. Ava means father. Nuts. And the nuts. Everum the fistus in. And you better believe. And so the way they twisted the Bible, women ain't got a chance. It don't matter what she did. Because everything about the woman all depend on the man. You can see this is written the same way, the end's the same way, who flatters each life, each life. And the only difference is this first word here. So it's all the same, and if Letty lick 'em asses her, if she lets him lick it, and Letty lick 'em asses her, men cry, oh Maria, each life. And so the immoral, the woman, or from the woman immoral, it's all the same. From the seductress with her words, and this is all the men cry, Amora, a Maria, each life. So whether she lets a lick or of a smirk or just smirked at him, she's all still the same immoral seductress. And so a smirk, that's when you just keep your words to yourself and you just give it that smirk. You really didn't say anything. And so this is where your word samurai comes from. the guard, the samurai warriors, the keepers, and you see it in page 3, to guard the garden, the guards of the garden. But it means more to hold back words. So a lot of y'all are thinking right now, you need to be delivered from the way of the evil, from the man who speaks these perverse things at you. To deliver you, that's a let's-y lick. That's a let's-y lick-em trick. A let's-y lick-em tricker. A maze-em dabber to fuck what? To fuck what? Madabber, the magic words, abracadabra. And maze-em dabber to fuck what? So this Jesus Christ, this isn't the one true God. Jesus Christ is the process of choosing one of the plural of the many gods. And it had to do with astrology, and they didn't want people knowing anything about it. So they changed the process of choosing between the gods into there is only one. So I've been reading a lot. I know I ain't made a lot of movies. I've been reading a lot, and I've been pulling a lot off and putting it on my paint and color coding it to help out. And I'm going to look some more into this reason that why Jesus was hung on the cross. And it talks about in the Old Testament, and that's what it was talking about here, that it was written, it has been written, and we can find the Old Testament too, so we can find it in the Hebrew. But yeah, I got way too much saved up here on my paint I'm working with. I need to clear a bunch of this off, so I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.